Josephine's like, do you trust me? And she's like, yeah. She's like, no. Do you trust me? She's like, yeah. Girl, Josephine took her down to the catacombs in Paris, in Paris. Hey, welcome or welcome back to my channel. But basically, this is gonna be a reading vlog of reading 2023 releases. So when I say 2023 releases, I don't mean like from like January, February, like the first half of the year. I mean books that have like come out the second half for some reason because they're fresh on my TBR or my Goodreads want to read or whatever. I have been reading so many new releases. The first book in this video is Thinking. Everyone's thinking it. I hate when my library puts that barcode there because it literally covers the words. But it's here too. Everyone's thinking it. I started it already. I'm on page 31. So we have two cousins. Ianu, who is a photographer at their school, and Keaton. I hate to mess up her name. Ugh, Keaton. I'm gonna call her Keaton. Or is it Keaton? I think I'm gonna call her Keaton in my head. Okay, so Keaton is a part of the popular crowd. And this book, I believe, because I read the synopsis, but I don't want to reread it again until I get a little further in. But basically, Ianu, someone steals pictures, like pictures off of her camera roll. Basically, everyone's about to get exposed. And these people that are in these pictures are trying to figure out like who, you know, did that. Let me see. Each girl is desperate to unravel the mystery of who stole the photos and why. But exposing the truth will change them all forever. But anyways, we already got our first little incident. And one of them is of the in crowd. Her cousin's in the picture. Heather, who's like the it girl. And Sarah. Now, Heather is white. Pretty sure Sarah is right too. Heather apparently has started blackfishing. She went on some kind of, this is how Ianu's describing it to us. That's how we're seeing it in her head. She went on vacation or something and she came back with a perm, a dark tan. So she started matching, I'm assuming, like her makeup with the tan. She's not so tan anymore, and yet she has a dark face now. But that's kind of all we've seen so far. I can kind of see a little relationships forming too. Ianu likes this guy named Quincy. Did I say Quincy? I don't know, but his name is Quincy. And I can already tell you I'm shipping them together. Okay, and then the cousin, Keaton, is kind of going with a guy named Oliver. Pretty sure it's Oliver. Now, Oliver is Asian. I don't even know what the people of like Singapore are called. Singaporean? I don't think I've ever said that in my life. He's that and something else. But I think both like ethnicities are Asian. And they actually got together because their school had some kind of Valentine's matchup. And they were matched with each other. And they actually kind of had a little moment because they're going to the dance together. That was the thing. You know, you're matched with someone that you're going to go to the dance with. And he was kind of like, you know, do you really want to go with me? You know, because I'm assuming, we don't get his POV, but I'm assuming he means like, they put us together because we're two BIPOC people. The next day, today's Tuesday, November 7th. And I am halfway through. I just right now got to the halfway mark, which is 178. I'm going to give another, a better wrap up so far of what's been going on. What happened was, if you guys remember this scene from Mean Girls, when Regina printed out and made copies of the burn book, and the school was toe up from the flow up, fighting, calling teachers, you know, mean names, saying one of them, well, I think it was true, right? But they fighting. That's exactly what happened in here. So basically, they took Ianu's pictures, right? Her portraits, not portraits. It's a word I can't pronounce. Polaroid. Polaroid. And they wrote messages on them. I think it was pictures of everyone, because the way that they were, no, or maybe it was just their friend group. So one of them was like, Sarah cheated on Marcus. No, Luke. Who was she with? I think she was with Luke. Marcus. She was with Marcus. So Sarah cheated on Marcus. Ianu loves or likes Quincy. What's his face? Oliver was only with Kyton for a bet. Like it has all these like rumors. Not rumors because like they didn't really know that before, but like these messages, right? And they're blaming Ianu for it because it's her pictures and she's not in any of these pictures. Obviously not, because she's the one taking them. So we know as a reader it wasn't her. So basically she and Quincy, who was a childhood friend of hers. Childhood friend? Yeah, because their parents are best friends. They're moms. They're both trying to figure out what happened, who took it, because they also took negatives. I have no idea what that means. I've been meaning to look it up on Urban Dictionary. But they took other pictures that Ianu needs for her article that she needs to write describing the pictures, and they took it. And now she's like on a deadline. She doesn't know what to do. So they're trying to find out who did it. But along the way, Quincy has two twin brothers. Well, obviously they're twins. Marcus is one of the twins, and Jordan. I don't remember if they're both in on it. But Ianu, Quincy, Jordan, and Navin, all four of them are kind of working together to figure out what happened. So as of right now, I think this is gonna be like a 4-star. This is one of those books that's mystery. It's not a thriller. Oh, I forgot why I even wanted to start filming this. But I'm looking at the quote at the top from Elise Bryant, who's the author of Happily Ever Afters. I think I know that book. They said, with its compelling mystery, insightful social commentary, and charming romance, everyone's thinking it is a richly layered and remarkable debut. Speaking on the social commentary, one of the things that I think I mentioned in the previous clip was about blackfishing. And there's the it girl named Heather, who's blackfishing, basically. Child, when I was it this morning or was I at lunch? I think I was at lunch. And the chapter that I got to, I was like, what? Heather ends up telling them that she scored a brand deal with one of her, like, what time is it? 4:38. Home Alone comes on at 5. But anyways, she scored a brand deal with this person that she's been wanting to for so long. And they're talking about it, and, you know, they're like, oh, wow, you know, like, you've been wanting this, right? Get into this, okay? So she said, they're talking about holidays. Well, vacation to us U.S. Americans. They're talking about going on holiday. And Heather mentions, oh yeah, I need a new tan. And Sarah and Kyton pause, because like, girl, what? You're brown right now, you know? And so that's when she says, you know, I got this sponsorship or partnership, whatever, with this person. And they're like, no way. So Gabriel Town is the European luxury beauty brand that Heather has been trying to collaborate with for months. Heather says, basically, they're hoping to do this diversity thing in their next campaign. I'm so excited. Diversity? Ma'am, what? So, Kyton questions a diversity thing. And she's like, yeah, you know, they said they wanted different marginal communities. Mind you, this is a white girl, okay? And I'm a woman, so obviously I contacted them. I deal with misogyny on my page every day. Girl, read the room. That's not, I guarantee you, yes, sure. Men are at the top of the hierarchy, period. But still, that's more than likely not what they meant. And Kyton, you know, like in her head, she's like, does the brand know she's white? because marginal communities is pretty broad. They could be including white women talking about their experiences of misogyny, but Heather doesn't look very white right now. Do they think they've added a woman of color to their campaign to talk about her intersectional experiences? Would they care either way, you know? And I just want to see what she looks like. I really do. And the sad thing is, I could honestly just go look it up on the internet and find someone. And you know who I'm kind of imagining her to be? Maybe I'll insert a picture, but there's this one girl, black fishing. White, 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 and then you look at the picture, brown skin. That's kind of who I've been imagining as Heather, to be honest. I am back with a finished book. This did not have to take as long as it did, okay? I don't know what to give this. I feel like I knew going into it that it wasn't gonna be a 5. It's at most gonna be a 4. And at least a 3. But a 3 feels low. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't think I liked it as much as I did. In my opinion, my first impression of this book was that it was gonna be a mystery. And I have a hate-love relationship with mysteries, because every mystery to me is cozy. There's really nothing going on in a mystery. And yes, I do know there are actually cozy mysteries, but every mystery to me is cozy. There's just not that much going on in the book. I kind of want to remember, where did I even hear that this was a mystery? And I mean, it was and it wasn't. It's kind of like you start the book and you find out, okay, these pictures were stolen. Drama is about to ensue. Is that the word? Ensue, right? Oh, it's about to be juicy. The majority of the book is kind of like the fallouts from some of these things, the repercussions and the consequences that come or that came from these pictures being outed, with specifically with the messages. It wasn't necessarily the pictures themselves, but what it was, you know, like a headshot or something of a person, and then the message was the real juicy part. Friendships breaking and coming to these realizations about said friendships, cousins or familial relationships being repaired, childhood friendships being repaired. But what I did like was like the social commentary, or the social commentary on like blackface, black fishing, because I feel like in a lot of books we tend to talk a lot about racism, like in general, discrimination, but this was interesting because this was the first book that I read that talks specifically about like blackfishing and blackface. I wanted more of the mystery part. And what would happen was, throughout the book, we would get these scenes of like, okay, our main character, Ianu, made this murder board. I say murder, but it wasn't a murder, right? But this board that has all the pictures, all the messages, and then like strings attached to who did what. And then it was never heard of again. It was brought up one time when she was explaining, I think, and I think it's pronounced Kitan, where she brings it up and she was talking about like what she did, but that was it. Like, and it was one of those things where the answer falls into their lap. They don't seek it out. I'm trying to be like as non-spoilery as I can. So I think I might just give this a 3.75, round it to a 4. Okay, this is check-in number 1 for book 2. I'm not quite at the halfway mark. So I went ahead, I don't even think I said what I started. So I went ahead and started I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. Let me hurry up and go get the actual cover. Let's get into the fit. So today is Tuesday? The 6th? No. Tuesday the 14th. And so we were supposed to have free donuts and free coffee, which I don't drink coffee anyway. But because of the weather, it was postponed. It was gonna be in the building. What do you mean it's postponed? Anyways, so we're supposed to, today's National Family PJs Day. Okay. So this is the shirt. I have leggings. Well, these are actually like sleep leggings, I guess you could say. They're actually like sleepwear bottoms, like PJ bottoms. They're not like just leggings I would wear. And then I have on red socks. Wait. Chaussettes rouge, red socks, and my red Converse. And then I did my hair like that. Anyways, it's about to gag y'all. Oh, look at that. Bam. Look at that cover. But not only that, when I took this off and looked at the actual cover, look at that. Look at it. Get into it. And then if you feel it, oh. And by the way, if you look at the cover, I'm gonna actually do it the other way. Tell me that's not a mixture, or if Tiana Taylor and Halle Bailey had a baby. Look at that. You telling me that don't look like a mixture of Halle Bailey and Tiana Taylor? Come on now. Anyways, jump scare. What is it about? We have a ballerina right here. I don't know her name. And I thought about this the other day. I always have trouble remembering the main character's name, and yet I can remember side characters. And I'm like, well, why is it I remember side characters and not the main? And you know what it is? Because typically these books where I'm reading, they're in first person. So you rarely hear the main character's name unless it's in some dialogue. And someone's like, hey, let's see, her name is Lore. Like, Lore, da-da-da-da-da. That's the only time you're reading the name. They call her Lore, L-A-U-R-E. And she's a ballerina. However, she's a black ballerina. You see where I'm going with this? She's tired of being overlooked. We start with auditions. And I'm pretty sure she's one of like the only black ballerinas there. And she does great. She's a great dancer. However, she ends up overhearing a conversation between these old white men, of course. Always them. And one of them makes the comment like, we can't accept you because you stand out too much. You don't have the ability to blend in, because a lot of these ballets, the main characters are white. So by you being black, you might be great, but you're gonna stand out. I'm probably butchering it, y'all. I understood it when I was reading it. Like, this is just not fair. She ends up going to a studio to just practice. She falls, and one of the girls, Josephine, sees, and she's like, are you all right? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. And then she's like, no, I'm not fine, right? And Josephine's like, well, you know what? Let's go get dinner or something. They go get dinner. And she's like, they're talking about it, you know, and our main character, Laura, it's not fair. Like, I'll never fit in. And it's sad that because I'm great, I will never be perfect because of my race, basically. So Josephine's like, do you trust me? And she's like, yeah. She's like, no. Do you trust me? She's like, yeah. Girl, Josephine took her down to the catacombs in Paris. And I just ended up on Catacomb Paris TikTok the other day. Like, and they telling you don't go down there because they got people living down there and everything. Anyways, that's where they go. And they have like this pool of blood or something. And she's like, this is what I did. And she's like, are you joking? She's like, no. Actually, if you trust me, you said yeah. It's some kind of little ritual. The little pool has like a, what do you call it? Like a little melody. You know, the evil stuff. It ends up talking to her. Like, what do you want or something? I don't think I bookmarked the page. Like, what would you give for it? And she says everything. Apparently, she wasn't supposed to say that because Josephine's like, hold up, what are you doing? The thing grabs her by the ankle. And then she's drowning in the pool. And then this is the part that kind of threw me off because it had these fantastical vibes, and it's like, it was hard for me to understand what was going on. She meets like these other people that she had seen that was there that turned into a monster. I don't know. But it was like, it kind of brands her. It gives her like a little tattoo somewhere on her wrist. And it's basically giving her power for the next 3 days. She's like a god. She has no, like, she's perfect. But like physically, like if you look at her, she has no like bruises or anything, because I said she was dancing before and she had bruises. She had, you know, her feet was probably all toe up from the flow up. Everything is fixed. But not only that, the way that she dances is even quote unquote perfect, to where that these people, she was auditioning again for this crew, some kind of crew, like ballerina crew or something, ballet crew. And there would be no reason as to why the judges would not pick her because of the power that she has. And apparently it also gives them gifts. I just read that part now. And her gift is commanding people. Actually, her 3 days were up. She went back to the catacombs and did it again. And then the voice gave her 3 months. So after that, because I think this is probably going to be a book like a good mixture of like a horror and a thriller. Like the detail and the vibes are giving me horror vibes, but then what I'm about to say is giving me thriller vibes. After she does that, she goes to Josephine's apartment. No one lets her in, so she gets in herself. And Josephine dead. She dead. She gone. And so now it's kind of like, well, who killed her? Because she was supposed to meet her, but I don't think she took that detour back to the catacombs. I don't think she was supposed to go there first. She was supposed to go meet Josephine, but she didn't. She went to see Josephine after. Josephine was dead. She had to hide in the closet because whoever did it was still in there. Now you see, I am thinking that, and let me hurry up because I got the lunch meat out. I was thinking that because of what she did, going back to the catacombs and getting 3 months, I'm thinking that's what killed her. But I don't know. Because we're all like, I feel like we're going to be searching for a person when the person it was Lore. Like by doing what she did and getting that 3 months extra, that plus 3 months killed Josephine. But I don't know. I can kind of see already that this is going to overtake her. You know what I mean? Because we've had so many moments now where she's craving that power. We also kind of see that evilness of whatever was in that river that got into her, because she'll be saying things like, let me go ahead and fix my sandwich. That's what she'd be saying. No, she'd be saying things like, well, you know, Vanessa was twisting and turning and doing her pirouettes, and I just wish she would just fall down, and not only fall but hit her head, break a tooth, bleed out her nose and stuff like that. And I'm like, golly, what's going on? My face is still shiny. The sunscreen. Where are sunscreen, people? I'm trying a new one. Eucerin. Just tried it today. I tried it because I'm a mineral sunscreen girly, and I normally use La Roche-Posay, but I'm not buying from them. I'm boycotting them. And I will never purchase from them again. They're owned by L'Oreal. And I was like, well, I need to be on the hunt for another sunscreen. So far, Eucerin is on the good list. I hope it stays because I actually like it. I tried 8K before. Brooke and Bailey, Bailey and Brooke or something. Oh my gosh. It's a mineral, but the white cast, like it's so hard to mix in. Anyways, because it's not tinted. But the mineral, I like to use tinted mineral. And I haven't had any luck with finding a good tinted, but I saw use from one. But anyways, I finished I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. Ciao. I'm going to give it a 3-star. I don't really care about it. And I think the reason why I'm giving it a 3-star is because I was into it, especially like at the beginning. It's like, I mean, I read the whole book and I found myself wanting to pick it up. But I think it's because I was anticipating something. So I think the one thing that I didn't really like is that it kind of took a fantasy turn. I don't think this is a fantasy. I'm trying to see where my phone is to see what people have it on Goodreads as. Because I think it's like a horror thriller, horror. But the way that these monsters and like the river were described, it was kind of like in a fantasy-esque way. And I just, because I don't like fantasy, especially YA fantasy. I just didn't get it. I didn't tab it. The cover's fire. But I just didn't really like the book. Like I found myself just flipping the pages. Especially when I got back home, yesterday from work. And I picked back up where I was. I had maybe 80 pages. And then like, once I got back in my room, I had about like 30. And I just flipping it, I wasn't into it. And I'm so disappointed. I'm gonna make this a very quick update, for my sake at least. So I have started my final book of this video. I have started 1201 by Bella J. This is a spicy black KU. spicy black KU romance. It's a black romance that's on Kindle Unlimited. Well, I'm assuming it is. I didn't get it off of KU. I bought it. I pre-ordered the ebook from the author. Also because Bella J, this is my 4th book of hers, and I would like to finish it today because I, of course, want to read one of my library books. We had a time, okay? So I finished the last book of this video, which was 1201. Listen. Okay, so this is about time in Midnight. And at first I had to get used to his name being Midnight because Midnight is a character in the book Midnight by Sean. But this is not Sean's book. So there is a little novella that you should read first. You don't have to, but this takes place from that. So I feel like you should read that first. I forgot what it's called. I don't know. It's something. It's a prequel. It's like 20 pages. And basically it's detailing this incident that happened. So we have our main FMC named Time, T-Y-M-E. And she was apparently engaged to a guy, I believe his name is like Michael or something, but she calls him Sir Cheater in there. It wasn't until the other character used his name and I'm like, oh, that's his name. I forgot it was hot. Anyways. Ooh. It's burning my insides. But anyways, so Time was cheated on. Her fiance ended up cheating on her with the woman that he said, oh, don't worry about her. And you know why he said don't worry about her? That's his cousin. Kissing cousins, basically. And they get married. And she flies from where... I don't want to say it was a destination wedding because I don't think it was. But it wasn't wherever they live. So she literally had to fly to where this wedding was. And she took a bat. And she busted it up, okay? And she goes to jail. Yeah, how fun. That's how that little prequel ends. And this is where we pick it back up in the main book. She's in jail. She's been in jail for like 6 hours. And guess who comes to bail her out? This man named Midnight. Now, Midnight is the fraternal brother or fraternal twin, whatever, of Sir Cheater. But guess what? They actually knew each other first. Midnight and Time, I believe, met on some kind of dating app. But she came off a little desperate, I think, because she wants to be married and she's kind of like, you know, watching the clock. Like, I think she's a little over 30. She might be like 31, but she's like, you know, like, by 30, I want to have kids and da-da-da-da-da. And it kind of translated, you know, like in how she was talking to these men, like whoever she would talk to. And I believe Midnight was the last guy that she talked to that she kind of realized, I maybe need to change like my attitude towards that. And so she changed it when she met Sir Cheater. Now, she actually didn't realize that they were related. They did meet when, like, not even a year into the relationship, but he brought her to meet his family. And she's like, oh, Lord, there's Midnight. And Midnight actually did tell his brother about it. His brother didn't care. So he's still attracted to her, but they don't like each other. Because he always has an attitude. I don't know. She be having an attitude. But he comes to pick her up, and he's like, well, we're gonna go do something, you know, because he can tell that, you know, she's upset. He takes her to, they fly somewhere else. I think New York or something, because he has a cousin. She's like, is this a kissing cousin? She got jokes. He's like, no, this is like a cousin. We have the same last name and everything, and it's a dude. His cousin has a New Year's Eve party every year for the past couple of years, and it's called 1201. It's like, well, I can't tell you anything. It's just a party. It's a surprise, whatever. And while they're at this, like, traveling there, they decide that they're gonna kind of fake hook up because she wants to shove it in Sir Cheater's face. She doesn't want him back because, I mean, he cheated, but she wants him to want her back, basically. And we know he's a cheater. Like, come on now. That's gonna be very easy. They go to this party, and it's 2 parts, right? The 1201 is the second part. And that's the... That's the sex party. And that's what it is. And she's a little upset because he wasn't forthcoming with all of the details, which I see that. I definitely understand that part. She kind of feels like it was thrown at her. But y'all, it was so good. It was definitely giving me the same vibes as Bookmarked, which is my favorite of hers. This might be taking the cake. I don't know. I gotta see. And what I loved in this one that she also did the social media posts like she did in Bookmarked, and I love that. She has her own version of the shade room in there. And I love when pictures and like Instagram specifically are in books, not like TikTok and Twitter and all that, or YouTube. I don't like that. You can tell me that the character is a content creator, sure, like that's their job. But don't go, my nose itches, but don't go all into detail about it. I don't want real life like that stuff in my books, except Instagram. Oh my gosh, it's tickling. But anyways, I think I'm giving it a 5, but I will say I did think time at the beginning was a little, was it pushy? Or what was it that he told her that threw him off when they first met? I don't want to say pushy because I don't remember if that's exactly how I felt. I should have wrote down my exact feelings. But she was a little, I'm going to say pushy. Just because I can't remember if that's the word that I want to use, but I'm going to use it anyway. She did feel a little pushy at the beginning, but I mean, she wasn't that bad of a character. And that's it for this video. We just getting right into the ending. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you sometime next week. Spoiler alert, the next video I want to work on are my own opinions on what should have made the Goodreads romance list.